Roll?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for being a part of this 10th World Education Summit. Sir, I just request you to kindly introduce yourself with your brief about your school.
I'm Payam Shoghi. I'm the principal of Riverdale International Residential School in Pune. We are a purely residential school, which means that we do not accept day scholars. And it's a 14-year-old school now, a beautifully located place, outskirts of Pune, near the Mulshi Dam, up on a hill. So it's a beautiful place. Also, apart from the building and everything else, the children are very beautiful, and it's always a pleasure to be with children, working with them. About the work we do is we are more into innovation. See, there are certain set patterns of things that need to be done, and we all know that. You know, when a teacher goes inside a classroom, what he or she is supposed to do. That basics are in place. But we are driven by a buzzword in our school, and that mantra, it's a mantra that we all go by, which says, is there a better way of doing this? Is there a better way of doing things? So if there is a teacher who's been teaching for 5 years, this teacher is duty bound to figure out that every 5 years is going to be different. Every year is going to be different from what she or he did. There's a challenge here, because if I'm not going to change the way I'm going to teach, then I'm dispensable. I could put an AV system, a TV, an LCD projector, and put your video there, and you'll just teach the same way every year. But that doesn't work. Children are changing, their mindsets are changing, the nuances, the curriculum is changing, teaching methodologies are changing, society is changing. Why doesn't the teacher change his or her way of teaching? So it's something that we are conscious of, that we cannot sit down and say, all right, I have my 2,000 students, I don't really need to bother about anything else, and life goes on. So at Riverdale, we challenge ourselves. It's all the time challenging ourselves, trying to figure out new ways, and this is what drives us. We have found out a lot of answers. And let me tell you one thing, I just want to give by way of example, is that how bad this reluctance to change and question set patterns is, that I often ask this question, especially in interviews when a teacher comes to join or any other occasion, is that what color pen do you use to mark the notebooks of children? So usually they'll say we use a red pen. Then I ask them, why do you use a red pen? Has anybody ever asked you, have you read in a manual? Have you read anywhere in any training, any BEd program that you have to use a red pen? And they think a while and they say no. Then I ask them, why do you use a red pen? That comes down to the fact that this teacher, when she was a student, her teacher used to use a red pen. So over one generation, this simple thing of marking notebooks of children has not changed. And this is just an indication of how unrelenting and how rigid our system is, and how much we will have to question these set patterns in our work, because there's a lot at stake. These wonderful children sitting in the classroom, there's a lot at stake with them.
Sir, there is many talks about ICT-based models. What initiative have been taken in your school related to the ICT model, and what more you are planning to do and as a future plan?
Okay, I'll take this in a more general way of talking about technology. Technology for us, very clearly inside our school, is that it's a very viable tool, it's an indispensable tool, and you'll be foolish to put it aside. And I'll tell you, there are many who are foolish enough to set it aside because of, again, there are these teachers who have been teaching a particular subject for a long, long time. And the moment you introduce them to, for example, the smart class, the smart board, and you have an LCD projector which has graphics, which has videos, which has the ability to teach abstract ideas very well, they are reluctant to use it because they have never done it before. So that's one aspect of it. We are not foolish, therefore we are open to welcoming technology, and we do that. However, there is a caveat here. You see, the moment we talk about change and innovation, the thought that comes to mind is technology. And it's a very simple thing. You want to change something, go and look in the market and you find some viable technology. It could be an app, it could be an ERP, it could be an IT program, a software, it could be anything. And then we are happy that, all right, we are innovating. But the point is that there is so much happening in the classrooms, and there is so much wrong happening in the classrooms, and technology does not offer the answers. Are we doing something about that? I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example of a simple thing of red pen. Technology has nothing to do with that, it's here. Then there's the student-teacher relationship. Over a period of time, there's something that we call clinical detachment. A clinical detachment is creeping into our classroom. The teacher teaches and runs away from the class, does not want to face the students anymore. A clinical. You see this in doctors. You know, a doctor with a very straight face will tell you, I'm so sorry, you've got cancer, you have 6 months to live. He does this all the time. For him, it's no big deal. That's clinical detachment. This is coming into our classroom. Technology is not going to fix this for you. Pedagogy. There are so many new and viable teaching learning methodologies that are now coming about. There's cooperative learning, there's collaborative learning, activity-based learning, discovery-based learning, all of that. Yet we are happy with rote learning and chalk and talk and all of that. That's not changing. Technology can help there, but there's so much more that you can do. Then there's classroom discipline, classroom management, there's a whole lot of things. My problem is, if we are all the time thinking about technology for change to happen, then I'm sorry, we are disempowering ourselves. A, because technology is not available with me. I have to sit till someone comes and makes something available to me, and then I go and say, all right, I like this, I will do it. And I need a lot of backup support and all of that. But an empowering approach to change would be that the teacher sees a problem and figures out a way to solve it. By the way, if there is any need for technological input, very good. We'll take that and implement that. But my problem is with the mindset. That mindset has to work, technology is there. You'll always find a way to solve your problem, be it technology or otherwise.
So what change you look, if we talk about 10 years down the line for your school?
My school, a lot. We are changing almost every month. So I'm as long as I'm there, I don't know, I'm not there forever. But I can see a lot of change, because change is something that I drive. I'm restless. We are very restless at our school. We want to find new ways. Is there a better way of doing this? This is a buzzword that we have. Students are also asking. Students are challenging children. Students are challenging their teachers now. Miss, we have been doing this all the time. It could be something, it could be assembly sharing. One child, one monitor of a class came and said, Miss, we have been sharing our assemblies this way. We've been saying the national anthem, the morning prayer, and the news. Can we do something different this time? So that culture is creeping into the student body as well. So I can promise you there's going to be a lot of change.
So what you are still thinking to take as an initiative in your school in down the line, if you talk about in a futuristic approach, if we take, what more initiative you are planning to take in yours?
Two. One is values. We have realized that we need to work harder in the field of value education. Now this is very undermined and this is neglected, grossly neglected, and I don't know why. We are going nowhere if our future citizens do not have the right values and attitudes. Now attitudes and values are related to each other. So we are reinventing our program for our approach for value education. That's one that's taking a lot of our attention. The other is skilling our children. Skill-based learning, where you have critical thinking, you have problem solving, you have decision making, you have a lot of social skills and collaborative skills and all of that. So we want, also this has to get integrated inside the curriculum. Right now what is happening, most of the time, these things come about through extracurricular activities, co-curricular, but this has to be integrated into it. So maybe some adjustments have to be done. We need more longer duration classrooms. Then we figure out how some of these skills can happen. That's on my agenda. That's top on my agenda to figure out how we are going to do this. Remembering also that we are a boarding school. Children are available with us 24/7. So there is so much that can be done, and we have every intention of doing that.
So lastly, I just wanted to ask, what will be your takeaway from this conference as we are organizing 10th World Education Summit?
Oh, it's marvelous. I have been a participant in earlier editions of your conference. This is my third, and it was delightful. You see, what you do and such events brings to the fore a lot of things that we lose sight of. I speak for myself. I'm a principal of a school, and there are many dark areas, hidden areas that you get too much involved in administration, and suddenly you come here and an idea comes before you, I need to go and work on that. And there are some excellent speakers you've got this time. So I think it's something that helps me personally, and I look forward to participating in more such events in future.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.